Hello, hello, hello. It's coffee time again where we go and look at the news and we comment on it. Simple as that. Well, a little bit blown out today. Big news is the Conservatives' Rwanda policy is in tatters. But good news for Suella Braverman, who's out the back door. She's gone, because it was kind of her thing, wasn't it? It was her flagship. It was ruled by the Supreme Court that it was breaking the law, and of course this is Rishi. He's been responded at saying that, the European Convention of Human Rights could be, I wouldn't say tear up, but they want to be elastic on it. Look, the whole plan's stupid anyway, because it doesn't stop the problem. It just relocates it at cost to the taxpayer. So it's stupid. May it die. May it die. Meanwhile, more Tory backbenchers are sending in letters of no confidence in dear old Dishy Rishi. It's like I said yesterday, he's a man on borrowed time. I have to see what happens there. Meanwhile, we'll go to Iceland because we've been following that story. The volcanic blast is, I don't know, edging closer. I reckon there's been one region has suffered 800 new earthquakes, which has left houses severely damaged. Here's some video footage of the cracks in one house. It's scary, but a lot of people have been evacuated. Iceland's Met Office said that it's the likelihood of volcanic eruption is now high and could happen at any time in the coming days. After 800 years of inactivity, a 2021 eruption marked the start of a new cycle of volcanic activity. And Cambridge volcanologist Clive Oppenheimer, unfortunate name that, says the blast may have kicked off a new eruptive phase which could last centuries. Meanwhile, Edward W. Marshall, researcher at University of Iceland's Nordic Volcanological Centre, said, "Time's finally up. We can get ready for another few hundred years of eruptions on the Reykjanes," he told Live Science. So they reckon magma is edging ever closer to the surface. And some real damage has been done overnight. So, and that's what they could look forward to, like something from a fantasy novel, like a Tolkien novel. Meanwhile, we're catching up on the ice hockey death of Adam Johnson. I don't know if you remember, but he unfortunately suffered an ice skate to the neck, which was a fatal injury. Well, anyway, the police arrested someone on suspicion of manslaughter. Obviously, it was the other player, and has been bailed pending further inquiries. Again, the incident has been labelled by a freak accident by his own team, South Yorkshire Police released a statement confirming that a man was in police custody after arrest on Tuesday on suspicion of manslaughter. Today they confirmed he's been bailed to date in the new year as the inquiry continues. Again, it's going to be I wouldn't want to be on that jury, proving that there was intent. I don't know. Just trying to find some more stories. It's not really good news. Inflation drops faster than expected. It's now dropped to 4.6%, staving off more interest rate hikes. And there's even a little graph for us to look at. We like graphs, don't we? See, look at that. It's coming down. And dear old Dishy Rishi has bet the farm on inflation. Again, governments don't tend to have any control over that sort of thing. It's the banks and just the market that can, governments very rarely can get a grip on it. But Dishy Rishi's kind of hitched his whole campaign on him getting inflation down. Let's see if that works, won't we? Oh boy, there's not a lot of there's a lot of Black Friday. Meanwhile, let's get on a bus. Do you want to go on a bus in London? Kentish Town? Do you fancy getting on a bus? I don't know. Well, anyway, this happened on a bus. There was a lady who asked some people who were talking about, they were talking about McDonald's chips, and this very, very nice lady interrupted them and said, "Are you a Jew? Because only Jews eat at McDonald's." My God, is that true? I don't think so. But yeah, that was on Armistice Day. The Metropolitan Police confirmed that is looking into the shocking video that it happened on November the 11th. So yeah, it's you can't even talk about McDonald's on a bus without somebody trying to get in your face. Meanwhile, now yesterday, remember we had Jeremy Corbyn talking to Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan said, "Are Hamas a terrorist organisation?" And he couldn't answer. Do you remember that? He couldn't answer. Right. Well, today we've got the mashup of Piers Morgan, and if you combine Piers Morgan with Jeremy Corbyn, what do you get? You get Piers Corbyn, don't you? I don't write any of this stuff, Well, anyway, Piers Corbyn, who's the brother of Jeremy, I think he's the older brother of Jeremy, has come out and said, right, after being asked by the campaign against anti-Semitism for his opinion on the October the 7th attacks, he claims that, again, like Roger Waters before him, that the attack was an Israeli false flag operation. He said, "I was suspicious from the start because the gates were clearly open for soldiers to come in and they were let out. So the whole thing was done in the connivance of the government of Israel, which used whatever happened as a pretext. People died as a consequence because the Israeli government wanted it to happen. It was a false flag operation. That operation on that day was agreed at the highest level of the Israeli government because they let in these soldiers." He then went on to talk about the baby beheadings that didn't happen, before wondering if the Israeli hostages include children and babies too, are paid actors. He even suggested that Israel had invaded Gaza for oil before comparing October the 7th to Pearl Harbor, which he bizarrely also claimed was faked. Cuckoo. Anyway, just so you want, this is the guy you've got to be careful of. That's Piers Corbyn, and he is batshit crazy. He really is batshit crazy. So, yeah. Meanwhile, Greta Thunberg is in court today. Yeah, she's being mobbed. She's heading into court. She's loving it. She's loving the attention. It's like, oh, I've got lots of attention. Lots of attention. There she is. She's loving every minute of it. Yeah, she was in court this morning because she's pled not guilty for being being charged over a protest near the Intercontinental Hotel in Mayfair in October. Again, oil executives were meeting in the building, and a group were protesting outside. She was granted unconditional bail till February the 1st, 2024, where she'll appear at a trial at the City of London Magistrates Court. There you go. She gave her address as Dorset. I don't think she's native from that from that part of town, is she? Meanwhile, they leaked a video today of Sunak welcoming the piggy fiddler himself, the piggy fiddler general, David Cameron, saying this is the best kept secret. They're like schoolboys who've raided the tuck shop. I don't think it was that big a secret, because they said that he was spotted going in Rishi's back entrance, apparently, last week. And I think Braverman got wind of that, and that's why she wrote that letter. She went thermonuclear. She knew she was out the door. That's why she published that letter. And then she put another letter out yesterday, where she tore Sunak several new arseholes. Go read it. There's several new arseholes there for him. Meanwhile, now, celebrity news. Will Smith. Who loves Will Smith? He loves to get jiggy with it, apparently. Now, I've always said that him and his missus were in a lavender marriage. Look that one up. I'm not explaining it to you. Meanwhile, his former assistant, right, has come out and said, right, that he caught Will Smith getting jiggy with it with Fresh Prince actor Dwayne Martin. Right, yeah. He made the allegations in an explicit interview with Tasha Kay. I don't know who she is. But yeah, Brother Bilal, that's his name, claims he once walked in on the Men in Black star and he was engaged in a sex act with his co-star. He's like, I opened the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne having backdoor fun with Will. There was a couch and Will was bent over on the couch and Dwayne was standing up, killing him, murdering him. It was murder in there. I've never heard it called that before. He also made unflattering claims about Smith's manhood, comparing his little friend to the size of a pinky toe. My God, mine's even bigger than that. But yeah, a spokesman for Will Smith said, no, that didn't happen. Yeah, but there you go. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. Maybe we need a defamation court case. If it doesn't go to court, then it probably happened. And this is why Will Smith, like Tom Cruise, like John Travolta, have hidden behind the protective shield of Scientology, because they don't want everyone to know what they get up to in their private lives. Silly, really, because we've moved on from that. But there's a great line in one of, I think it was Will Smith's biography, where he recounts how when he has sex with women, he often is violently sick. Now, I've never come close to that. Mind you, there was that time we ate all that pizza. Do you remember that? And I did feel a little bit bilious afterwards, because worked up a bit of a sweat and being full of pizza, but not like that, So yeah, Tasha Kay asked Bilal, and he said, you say that Will Smith has a small little Will? And he said, if a woman is used to something the size of a baby leg and you come in with a pinky toe, there's nothing you're going to do to please her. If she's itching for that baby leg, she wants that baby leg. And never a true word has been said. Because again, he's married to Jada Pinkett Smith, who brags about having the horizontal pogo with much younger much younger men, and and Will's fine with it because now we know that when he hit Chris Rock, it really was a bitch slap, wasn't it? It really was. It really was. Do you live in one of the UK's porch pirate hotspots? Ooh, colour me interested. We have an interactive map showing where thieves are most likely to steal items from your doorstep. And here is said map. Again, because we have Amazon and all manner of delivery services now, people are getting a little bit more confident. Look, Lincolnshire, 5 parcel thefts per 100,000. In Bedfordshire, 52 parcel thefts. Hertfordshire, 73. Don't live in Hertfordshire. Definitely Hertfordshire. Gwen, you're all right. Definitely, yeah. It's Hertfordshire. Stay away from Hertfordshire. Now, yesterday, I'd ordered a guitar from Cash Converters, and even though DHL said that they were delivering it between 11 and 12, they delivered it at 9 o'clock ish while we was on the dog walk, and they left it on the doorstep. No one took it. So that shows you just how safe it is around here. There you go. Meanwhile, archaeological news. Now, what we've got here, this is a wind chime or a Tintinabulum. Oh, I like that. Oh, I must remember that Tintinabulum. I like that. It's what a great word. It was discovered in the Roman settlement of Viminasium in Serbia, and they reckon that the object dates back to the 2nd century CE. What's CE? We had AD, BC and AD. What's CE? What's CE? I don't know what CE is now. But and here they are, getting out of the earth. A Tintinabulum. And this object is a bit cheeky. If you look at it, it's not very. You can't really, again, to invoke Rolf Harris. You can't tell what it is yet. You can't tell what it is yet, can you? But it's a bit of a cheeky wind chime, right? Because when they tidied it up, oh man, I am so demonetized. It's a flying phallus. Let me just get the picture. Let me just zoom out a bit. Ooh. You really got to get the. You've got to get the. Oh, it's done it again. Why you do that? That's better. It's yeah. Look at that. And when the wind catches it, it makes a delightful noise. There you go. A bit cheeky that. But yeah, so experts say this. It was a magical phallus. Isn't every phallus magical? It has jingling bells and an unusual appearance, and they were designed to scare away the evil eye and penetrate malicious spirits. I'm just saying what they're saying. And yeah, it was discovered here in Serbia. There you go. Imagine taking that into Antiques Roadshow. Eh? What would you give me for this? Oh, God, I feel like I've been going on. I feel like I've been doing ages. God. Meanwhile, I'm a Celebrity fans are threatening to boycott the new series because Nigel Farage is going to be in it. What? The most successful politician of the 21st century? Here he is. There he is. He's a delightful fellow. Now look, those are probably the same people that said the same about old Hancock going in. You know. And Hancock went in, and everybody tuned in to watch him trying to Be human. So I mean, I'll be tuning because it's the TV equivalent of seeing a road crash, isn't it? You can watch it. You can watch it without feeling any shame. Apparently, he's earned £1.5 million for his appearance. Because again, what happened with Coots? He needs to top up his bank account. So yeah, and apparently 10,000 people use the hashtag boycott I'm a celeb. Even Danny Baker, broadcasting legend Danny Baker, said it's disgusting that terrible racist man Nigel Farage is on there. Now you've got to remember Danny Baker posted a picture of a chimp in a suit when Meghan Markle gave birth, and then when it was pointed out that Dan, it's a bit of a bad take, he went, I didn't know it was her baby. So I do love it when everyone gets a little bit arseholed about these things. Yeah, just don't watch. It's not a big deal. But do these people, and when they say I'm not going to boycott it, do they? If they're at a party when they leave, do they shout out to everyone, "I'm leaving the party. This party has no atmosphere," and then flounce out? Do they conduct their real life the same way as they do with their online life? If I'm not, don't have to watch it. I'm not going to watch it. So. Meanwhile, we've got some good cult news. Good. Now, shoplifting's a big thing at the moment. And they put high value items in those kind of cases like steak and cheese, and they put them in those big protective plastic boxes. Well, for one woman, that was nothing to her. Pauline Al-Said of Saucy in Hampshire, right? Here she is. I mean, she looks a bit suspect, doesn't she? She looks a bit suspect. Apparently went on a shoplifting spree. Right? She was at Winchester Crown Court. She denied 2 charges of theft. Right? She was caught trying to take more than £500 worth of alcohol and gifts from a garden centre whilst armed with a de-tagging device. Right, so she's already like gone armed. She went on 2 shoplifting sprees. The other one saw her steal £1,000 worth of Le Creuset cookware, all the expensive stuff, high value steaks, wine, and boutique gin. Yeah. The 33-year-old, when she was confronted by staff, her husband Mark Wheatcroft allegedly threatened to lay out a store detective and then threw a punch at him. He's also in court, denying 1 count of theft and 1 of assault. Here he is. They're going in together. Look at that. There they are. What a pair, eh? Oh, put their picture up. Keep an eye out for them. Yeah, this happened on the run-up to Christmas on December the 14th, 2021. Mary Aspinall Miles, who was prosecuting, told jurors that the store had hired an undercover detective called John Dunklin to prevent loss at the garden centre. And Mr. Dunklin noticed Mrs. Alside pushing around a trolley. It caught his attention because the trolley already had carry bags in it that were not attributed to the nursery. They appeared to be full, and he followed her around. He watched it, then he lost sight of her, so then he went to the CCTV to see where she'd gone. He then saw her pushing customers as she tried to exit through the front entrance. Inside the bag was more. When he investigated, inside her bag was more than £500 worth of high-value spirits, including Mermaid brand gin and spiced rum. She's got expensive taste. This is the garden centre she stole from, and back in September 2022, she'd been walking around Marks and Spencer's in Winchester, Hampshire, with a security claimed to see her piling meat into a bag for theft. So yeah, it's not looking good. So anyway, the trial is continuing. But yeah, I'm just where is it? So I'm just looking for a detail because I can't find it in the text. Oh, there it is there. Pauline Al Said, right? This is the good bit. There's always a little twist, isn't there? Is formerly a senior lecturer in criminology at Bath Spa University. Yeah, there you go. So it's almost like she researched it. Former senior lecturer in criminology. Anyway, the trial continues. Let's see if they get a suspended sentence, even though they've been done before. Meanwhile, let's go to Luton. Really? Do we really want to go to Luton? I don't think we want to. This is in the early hours of Saturday morning on November the 11th, when cameras caught the following. A car speeding when it's a concrete block and blammo. And look, they get out as if nothing had happened. Watch that again. Blammo. Doink. So there we go. The incident was posted on TikTok, where it's been viewed more than 173,000 times in less than 24 hours. Sharp your mode. Dog food. That's it. Dog food. That's all I've got to say. Oh dear. They always come when I'm doing this. Never. All morning. This is quiet. And then it's this. So where were we? Right. Not a lot else. How long have I done? Oh God. Feels like I'm. Meanwhile, we go up to Norfolk. This is the story of Nigel Marsh. He's a campsite owner who was accused of the council of bullying him, and he's been involved in a 5-year legal battle. Here he is. All right. His battle began over an enforcement notice he was issued over an infrastructure installed for visitors, including a toilet block and showers. He insists they were allowed under the permitted development, while Kings Lynn and West Norfolk Borough Council claimed they breached the rules. Right? But during a pre-trial review at Norwich Crown Court, he learned the council would not be presenting evidence and were dropping the case. As the case had not been heard, right, he was unable to claim legal costs of £35,000 he would have sought for an acquittal, and instead was only awarded costs for his travel for the day, which was £26. A separate dispute with the council over a second site has not been allowed to open. Has cost him another £19,500 in legal fees, plus an estimated £75,000 in lost income over 2 years. So he reckons he's lost £130,000 out of pocket. So he said, I'm being bullied online, bullied by the council. They only have their view. They don't listen. They don't understand the facts, and they don't ask for meetings to discuss issues. Their way is the only way. He opened Hunstanton Camping and Glamping in 2017 with his wife on a former agricultural field in Heacham that had buildings with planning consent for holiday lets. He was allowed to open up the site to campers and caravanners under the Caravan Club certification, and the council confirmed it had no objections at the time. But the trouble began when he installed a toilet block and added mobile shower units. The council issued an enforcement notice claiming it was an unauthorised permanent campsite, which seems contradictory to what's gone on before. Very expensive. Very expensive court case for him. So yeah, so he also had to pay £12,000 to the council to cover its legal fees, while his outlay on the case was £7,500. So yeah, it's very expensive. Don't go to court. Don't do anything. Stay at home. Just. Meanwhile, now this is I don't. We did. I think we may have covered this, right? But this is Anne Jakradjutitip, right? Who's a Thai trans activist, right? Okay. They bought Miss Universe. I always think of bodybuilding, don't you? You have Mr. Universe. They bought the event for $20 million in 2022 from IMG Media, right? Adding it to the portfolio of the JKN Global Group. But between 1996 and 2015, Miss Universe pageant was part of Donald Trump's business empire. Did you know that? The company also owns Miss USA and Miss Teen USA. The thing is they changed the rules to Miss Universe, right? Because it was due to take place in El Salvador, the pageant, and they changed the rules to allow trans contestants. So, okay. But anyway, it's filed for bankruptcy. It's gone under. The bankruptcy comes after the company missed out on a $12 million loan repayment. But they say that the event is going to go ahead as planned, even though it's gone bankrupt. Okay. But yeah, they said that the Miss Universe contest is just one of their many business lines, and they will come back. So yeah. And apparently there's quite a few trans women taking part. Here's one. So it's the big hands. Big hands always give it away. Remember that. It's the bigger hands. Always check the size of their gloves. And another one, massive hands. Look at that. And yeah, that's Jakradjutitip, who owns the contest. I thought all these things were a bit old-fashioned now, anyway. It's not like the good old days that used to be on TV. Do you remember Miss World and all that stuff used to be on the television? Seems like centuries ago, doesn't it? Centuries ago. But a bit of an old-fashioned business. Anyway. But I don't understand why don't they just have like a Miss Trans Universe? Couldn't they? Could just do that. I think it'd be more interesting. What else is there? Oh, can't do that. Oh, here we go. Art. Let's do some art. Right? This is in Kingston upon Thames. This is like public art. Do you like public art? Shall we have a look at it? Don't worry, he's not part of it. He's not part of it though. You think he might be? He's like a mannequin. He isn't. He's just somebody admiring the art. Yeah, it's a load of cigarette ends. The sculpture is made out of real cigarette butts and represents the 225,000 ends said to be dropped on Britain's high streets every hour. And here is this chap assembling it. Is it glued in place? I mean, otherwise, wouldn't it blow away in the wind? Wouldn't seagulls come down and land on it and disturb it? But that's art, apparently. That's art. It was commissioned by a charity, Keep Britain Tidy. The sculpture will ultimately be displayed in a museum as a reminder of the scourge of discarded cigarette ends. It says cigarettes make up of 66% of items littering in Britain. the thing is, there are fewer smokers now, aren't there? So yeah, it's a piece of art. This little chap, he's not a fan. Everyone's a critic. Look, he's not a fan of it. Everyone's a critic. There you go. Oh dear. Meanwhile, be careful when you make a bet, because sometimes it can go against you. Donnie Manco from Fort Wayne in Indiana is one of those people, right? He had a bet with his son, right? They were playing Fortnite, the computer game, and he lost. And now he's forfeit. He's had to have Fortnite tattooed on his forehead. Looks kind of real. It's got the the swelling. But yeah, really, be careful. And there he is, under the needle. And it looks a bit painful. It doesn't look like he's having a good time of it. So yeah, remember, only bet what you can afford to lose. Oh dear. So we do have an animal story, but it's not a good animal story. This is in Cornwall, right? This is on Fistral Beach in Newquay, and it's the body of a fin whale that's washed up on the sand, right? They reckon it's the second largest in the world, measuring 54 feet. Here's a detail of it. And yeah, it was found washed up this morning on the beach. A marine stranding network volunteer at Cornwall Wildlife Trust said that the mammal was at high risk of blowing up, and it would be very gassy and messy, a bit like me on the metformin, that is. So yeah, walkers have been ordered to stay away from the carcass, and the area's been cordoned off by officials. Yeah, so he said it could. Who is this? Colin Stonehouse, a member of the British Divers Marine Life Rescue, said, "When I arrived, I checked to see if it was alive, but it already was deceased. We need to pull it back, take some data and find its cause of death." He added that while the North Sea will be its natural habitat, it was not unusual for whales to come close to the shore. He said it could be a navigation problem. There's a lot of bruising on it. It's a female, a juvenile going towards adult, but I need to measure its length to get a precise age. So there we go. A big whale washes up. World's second largest whale. I mean, I think it means like species. I don't think that is the world's second largest whale. Anyone in? 5 people in. Renee's in. Watermelon, yeah, indeed. He's in. Cole's in. He says, "Hey, I've got to see you live." Gretry's okay, really, suppose. Enjoy your coffee. I don't have any. Ian says, "Hello." Cole says, "I've taken it off because British Gas was supposed to show up for a safety check." Of course, they haven't. Been there, done that. Used to document that on my Facebook page when our washing machine used to go wrong. The man used to not turn up, and when he did turn up, he didn't have the part. And then once when he did turn up, he had the part, but the part was broken. And there was a fortnight gap in between each visit, and in the end they had to give us a new washing machine because we've been without a washing machine for nearly I think it was like 2 months. I think it was. We had insurance from the washing machine people. AJ says, "Art, it is art, trust me." And AJ says, "Darren, when do you get your face tattooed like the Fortnite guy?" I've never had any interest in tattoos or body modifications. Tattoos should be for sailors and prostitutes, and that's it really. Not for regular people. Reason sailors had it was so that if a bit of them washed ashore, they could identify them. But it's okay if that's what you want to do. There's very few tattoos that I find appealing. Some look like great art, but a lot of them looks like they're just prison tats and are ugly. They're not appealing to the eye. I like the aesthetic tattooing, you know, that looks like a piece of artwork. Usually, you know, back pieces, things like that. But no one's going to see it if it's on your back unless you walk around with your shirt off. So, no, I'm not a tattoo kind of person. But if you want to have it done, knock yourself out. I don't care. And Renee's in here. So good day. See ya. See ya. See ya. See ya. I'm off. It's Wednesday. That means it's a bacon sandwich, which I'm often off to go and sizzle up. Thank you for watching. Killing the channel, one video at a time. That was the news. Ta-ta.